A beautiful morning, beautiful afternoon, and beautiful evening to every one of you, my professional colleague. Nurses, how we are doing? How is preparation for our OSCE exam? Guys, please don't give up. Keep practicing for your OSCE exam. You definitely succeeded. Practice with your friends, practice with your pillows, and make sure you are getting it right. All right, you are definitely succeeding. OSCE is very, very simple. All you need is just the techniques, and that's it. All right, keep practicing. All right, I want to give a special shout out. The messages I got this last week is massive. I've never gotten such messages all 1 year of doing videos on YouTube. I can't explain it. In fact, I can't express my gratitude, to God Almighty. Honestly, we're very grateful to God. We're very grateful to God. Too many passes. Too many passes. Well done, guys. Like I keep saying, I celebrate with you all who has passed your OSCE exam. I welcome you to your band 5 rules. And guys, you are, in fact, more than the sky. More than the sky is definitely your limit. Oh my God, I'm so happy. When I say I share your success story, it's not like I'm so happy. I don't know how to express it. I'm so excited when people tell me, I passed my OSCE exam. Thanks for your help. Sometimes I feel like crying. Is that bad? Oh my God. I'm so happy for every one of you. So, if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Violet Okolocha. I actually talk about everything about OSCE and nursing here in the UK. So if this is what you like and if this is what you want, sit back and watch to the end. And I want to say thank you to every nurse who has gone beyond watching me on YouTube. A lot of people mail me to do videos. I really appreciate it. I'm not kidding. I really appreciate it. Thank you for pushing me to do more videos. I'm not joking. I can't imagine I'm doing videos today. I didn't plan it at all. One of the nurses, Christina, pushed me into doing a video today. This video, I'm doing this video at past 6 thereabouts. She virtually pushed me. That's all I need another video. Thank you so much, everybody who is supporting this channel. I'm grateful to you, and in fact, thank you so much for supporting. A lot of people share my videos, a lot of people subscribe, a lot of people like. Thank you so much, and keep doing that. Yes, keep sharing to your friends preparing for your OSCE exam. Keep liking, and don't forget to drop a comment in my YouTube video. I definitely try to reply as much as I can. All right, guys, so today I'll be doing a video on evidence-based. We're done with professional series, although somebody said we're not done. I'll double check, but we're done with professional series, and we started the series on evidence-based. And evidence-based is all about research. We all know that, and nurses are very, very good when it comes to research. So we started a video on evidence-based. We've done one on evidence-based. So today we'll be doing what? Number 2. So today we are going to be talking about the use of honey dressing for venous leg ulcer. Now, for your evidence-based, the time allocated to this station is 10 minutes. But guys, trust me when I tell you, you will finish before 8 minutes. It's 10 minutes allocated to the station. You get a paper like this. Yes, it's just to write, and make sure you're writing your answers, like I say, in bullet points. So you read your research and you summarize your research article, and you what? And you write. That's all. It's a silent writing station. It actually demands total concentration. So please concentrate. And like I said, the time is what? Is 10 minutes. You get a scenario and you get what? An article summary. So what you get literally your exam, you get this to put down your points. You get another document like this, which will carry your scenario and your article summary. So literally you're getting 2 documents, one bearing, like I would say one is bearing the question, yes, because it has your scenario and it has the article summary, and this is where you're going to input your answers into. And like I said, the time allocated to this station is what? Is 10 minutes. Okay, so you're going to be seeing an overview before your scenario and article summary, and the overview will tell you, read your scenario and the summary of the research below, identify the main point of the summary, and apply the findings to the scenario below. This is a silent station. Please write clearly and legibly. You have 10 minutes to complete the station, and immediately you see your scenario and your article summary. And like I said today we'll be considering what? The use of honey dressing for venous leg ulcer. So for evidence base, you have 5 topics. Of that 5 topics, you can only get 1 for your Osce exam. So you get 1 for evidence base and 1 for professional values. All right. So for evidence base, we have diabetes, we have female myocardial infarction, we have pressure ulcer, we have smoking cessation, and I've dropped a video on smoking cessation, and we have the use of honey dressing for venous leg ulcer, which I'll be talking about today. So this is also a formulated scenario by me. Trust me, it's a formulated scenario by me. I actually went a lot to research, and I just tried to do this, a formulated scenario by me. So now we're going to be getting the scenario. We've gotten an overview already, which is to read the scenario and the summary of the research, blah, 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 identify the main point, silent station is 10 minutes, blah, blah, blah. Now, so this is the scenario. Mrs. Haley has chronic leg ulcers, and this ulcer has been dressed in the hospital according to the hospital protocol with standard dressings. So she tells you, she read in an article that honey dressing is better than standard dressing. So in this case, what are you going to say to Mrs. Haley? All right, that's your scenario. Okay, so now the article summary is small studies state that honey is better than standard dressing. Small studies state that honey is better than standard dressing. Large case studies states there is no difference between reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time, irrespective of standard dressing or honey dressing. Take notes. Large study states there is no difference between reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time, irrespective of the type of dressing used. Either it is standard dressing or it is honey dressing. All right. Now, another small study states, remember I said small, the first point I read was small studies state that honey dressing is better than standard dressing. Now, large scale study states there is no difference between the reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time, irrespective of the type of dressing used. Now, another small study states that honey dressing has an antimicrobial effect, especially for patients who are resistant, or especially for patients with MRSA. And you know MRSA is methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. Now, another small study states people who use honey dressing experience pains and slight discomfort, and honey dressing is very costly. That's what I read about honey dressing on the internet. Now, based on another study, standard dressing is also costly and also a bit painful, as patients reports. The evidence as to whether standard dressing and honey dressing, which is most effective, is inconclusive up until now. So, summarize this research and give your main points. Now, so guys, literally, let me teach before I give you answers for this. The answers is already in your backing criteria anyway. You see, we started by saying small studies state that honey is better. Then I said large studies again is saying there is no difference between whether you use honey or you use standard dressing. So, and the end of everything said there is no evidence as to which is most effective. So it is even inconclusive. So already by reading this article summary, you see that there is no much saying that honey is better than standardized dressing. All right. So now what will you tell Mrs. Haley? Because Mrs. Haley told you she has read in the article that the standard dressing you are using for her leg is not as good as honey dressing, and the standard dressing is, according to your hospital protocol, is better. Sorry, I don't mean it's better. The standard dressing according to your hospital protocol is what you use in your hospital, is what you prefer to use in your hospital than the honey dressing. So she's not like, nurse, I think the honey dressing is better for my leg, because in the internet they say honey is better. So what will you tell Mrs. Haley? And now you've read your article summary. The article summary is still telling you that there is no evidence as to whether standard dressing or honey dressing, which is most effective. So what will you tell Mrs. Ailey? All right. So now looking at your marking criteria, these are the points I would encourage you to say to Mrs. Ailey. Number one, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that there is currently no conclusive evidence indicating that the use of honey dressing improves outcome for patients with chronic venous leg ulcers. All right. I would inform Mrs. Ailey that there is currently no conclusive evidence indicating that the use of honey dressing improves outcome for patients with chronic venous leg ulcer. You don't need to cram that. That is in your research. All right. Number two, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that a large study, which we said large study at the beginning, that a large study found out that there is no reduction in the size of what? Of the wound or the healing time with honey dressing compared with standard treatments or standard dressing, whichever. So I would inform Mrs. Ailey that large study found that there is no reduction in the size of the wound and in the healing time with honey dressing compared with standard dressing. Okay, so I would inform Mrs. Ailey that there is no difference in the reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time with honey compared to standard dressing. And you know, we did read that in the article. When we talked to, if you remember when we were reading the article summary, we read the small study first, then we said large study said. So you are informing Mrs. Ailey that according to large study, there is no difference between reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time with honey dressing compared with what? Standard dressing. And number three, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that from studies, patients who use honey dressing report increased pain. And we did find out that patients who use also honey dressing also report what? Increased pain. So I would inform Mrs. Ailey that from the small studies, patients who use honey dressing report what? Increased pain. And number four, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that another small study suggests that honey have antimicrobial properties and may help patients with chronic venous leg ulcer who are also what? Who have a methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. All right, so I would inform Mrs. Ailey, and that is also in the article. I would inform Mrs. Ailey that another small study suggests that honey have antimicrobial properties and may help patients who have methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus (MRSA) infection. However, this small study also requires more research. Number five, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that there is no evidence that medical grade honey is cost effective in the treatment of chronic venous leg ulcer. I would inform Mrs. Ailey that there is no evidence that medical grade honey is cost effective in the treatment of what? Chronic venous leg ulcer. And finally, I would recommend to Mrs. Ailey that until a more robust research is conducted and the efficacy of honey to treat chronic leg ulcer is established, the dressing should still be done based on the hospital protocol. And what is the hospital protocol? Standard dressing. So guys, I'll read it again in case when I read it you didn't understand it clearly. Number one, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that there is currently no conclusive evidence indicating the use of honey to improve the outcome of patients with chronic venous leg ulcer. Number two, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that according to large study, there is no difference between reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time. There is no difference according to large study between what? The reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time with both dressings. There is no difference between reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time of both dressings. So whether you're using what do you call it, standard dressing, or you are using honey dressing, large study states that what there is no reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time, irrespective of what of the dressing used. So I would inform Mrs. Ailey that large study states that there is no difference between reduction in the size of the wound and the healing time, irrespective of the dressing used, either standard dressing or what, or honey dressing. Number 3, I would inform Mrs. Ailey that small study states that patients who use honey dressing report increased pain. Number 4, I will inform Mrs. Ailey that another small study suggests that honey has an antimicrobial property that may help, or that is useful with patients who have penicillin, with patients who have MRSA infection. We know MRSA infection is penicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. So I would inform Mrs. Ailey that small studies suggest that honey have an antimicrobial properties that may help patients who has chronic venous leg ulcer and have MRSA infection. However, this small study requires further research. And I would also inform Mrs. Ailey that there is no evidence that medical grade honey is cost effective in the treatment of what chronic venous leg ulcer. And finally, I will recommend that until a more robust research is conducted and the efficacy of honey to treat chronic leg ulcer is established, the dressing of wound should be based on current evidence-based trust protocol. So guys, I hope it's simple and I hope it's easy to understand. Remember, every point you join it from your research. It is really, really, really simple, because we all know research. I wish you all success in your Osce exam. I can't wait to congratulate you. Keep passing your Osce exam. And until I see you again, God bless you.